gentlemen, and welcome to the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show here on WYLN. Coming up at the top of the hour, the Cougars of Hazleton area play host to the Millionaires of Williamsport. And we welcome you live high atop Harmon Guy Stadium on the roof of the Ray Saw Memorial Press Box. I'm Marty Burns, joined as always by the coach Joe DeMelfi. And Joe, we got a matchup of a couple teams trying to find some winning ways. Hazleton area coming off a tough loss on a long road trip to Delaware Valley last week. Come in at 0-3 entering week number 4. And some injury news, or maybe more so medical news. Quarterback Julius Ward, who split time last week, did not play the whole game, is not medically cleared. He will not play tonight, and they give the ball to the junior quarterback, Ryan Heller.
And one of the things you look at is Ryan Heller had some success last week against Delaware Valley. So obviously the team responded to him. We'll see if they do that again tonight. Well, you have, Marty, two teams trying to right the ship. Middle of the season, there's still time. Mistakes and who makes them and who makes the least of them is going to play a big part here.
Okay, earlier on we had a chance to chat with Hazleton area head coach Jim Drumheller. Okay, Coach. Entering week number 4, your second home game of the season. Ryan Heller gets his second start, second straight week at quarterback, as Julius Ward is not medically cleared to play. Just talk about Ryan Heller for some of the fans that may not have seen Ryan play as of yet.
Well, I thought he did a very nice job last week up at Delaware Valley for his first start and working with the varsity. And, he held his composure and he ran the offense very well, I thought. Now, this week he had a full week of practice with the starters and he took all the reps, so I expect him to even be better this week.
Now, last time we were with you, we talked about how well your special teams was playing. Special teams was a big factor in your victory against Williamsport last year. You expecting some of the same tonight?
There's no doubt. Special teams is going to be a big part of this game, and you never know. It comes down to 5 big plays, and any one of those 5 could be on the special teams.
Okay, now, as I mentioned, Williamsport's in here to face your Cougars tonight. What challenges do they present to your team?
They're loaded with athletes. They have athletes all over the place, and they have speed. And we gotta be ready to play and come off the ball.
Just basically typical Williamsport.
It's your typical Williamsport team. Yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded.
All right, Coach, quick last question for you. What does your team have to do to get the victory tonight?
Well, we put it in the offensive line's hands, and they got to win the job up. They got to do the job up front and win the battle in the trenches. And if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
Well, Coach, as always, I appreciate it. Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Marty.
Now, Coach, when I had talked to Coach Drumheller and I mentioned Williamsport, pretty much the same. When you talk Williamsport, you talk team with athletes.
That talent, they just have to put that talent together. I think the other thing in a game like this, when you have a team like Williamsport, you have to try not to become one-dimensional, whether it be rushing it 40 out of 50 times or whether throwing it 40 out of 50 times. You have to have some balance. That balance keeps the defense off balance, that offensive balance. So let's see if Williamsport can do a little bit of that tonight.
Earlier on, I had a chance to chat with second-year Millionaire head coach Kevin Choate. Coach, tonight you start the first of a 3-game road trip. A lot of miles will be logged in the next 3 weeks for your team. Just talk about the importance of starting off strong tonight.
The importance is we got to hold on to the ball. We can't be throwing the ball all over the place, and we can't throw interceptions. So we have to execute. Just like Coach Drumheller said, he has to execute. We have to execute, and if we execute, it's going to be a good ball game.
Okay, now you mentioned Coach Drumheller and Hazleton area. What challenges do they present to your Millionaire squad tonight?
Well, offensive and defensive line-wise, I think they're strong, and I think they have a lot of skill positions, some defensive backs there. They play good football. They've, they started out with, Scranton and then Coughlin and Delaware Valley. I mean, my goodness, those are three home openers, that you really don't want to start off your season with right away.
Okay, last question for you, Coach. What does your team have to do to get the victory tonight?
We have to hold on to the ball. We have to be able to run, and we have to show some consistency that we haven't shown in the first 3 games.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Okay, Joe, if you were like any of the other Eagle fans last night watching Big Red's return to Philadelphia, the biggest number last night, 5 turnovers, and in talking to Coach Choate, he doesn't want to turn the ball over. You mentioned, throwing the ball all over the field and creating turnovers. And when I said keys to victory, first thing that he said was eliminate the mistakes.
There's no doubt about it. You turn the ball over, the chance for you to lose the game goes up as you turn the ball over more. Vic throws the interception to Barry right at the beginning of the game. And you really can't understand how much that affects the team, especially a team that runs that type of offense. But if you turn it over 5 times, that's not good. Plus, you're playing it against a pretty good Kansas City defense, which helped. But I think the key to Williamsport, as I said, don't turn it over. Mistakes, keep them down, and don't become one-dimensional.
Okay, we'll talk more about this game as the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show continues. Setting up behind me on the field is the Hazleton Area Marching Band. We'll take a break and then hear from the Hazleton Area High School Marching Band right after this as the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show continues live right here on WYLN.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the Greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
As a diabetic, where do I turn for the special healthcare products and advice I need?
Come into your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy. We specialize in the unique concerns and needs you have as a diabetic patient. Your Good Neighbor pharmacist has a fully trained staff, stocks a broad selection of the products you need, and takes a personal interest in your health and well-being.
Now, Hazel Park Spring Water is proud to announce that they are the official water of the WYLN Sports Crew and available for home delivery through J.W. Wargo Spring Water Delivery and JoJo's Beverage. Since 1915, the Kreisel family has been serving the area with quality meats. The tradition continues today with 5 generations at Hazel Park Quality Meats, 260 Washington Avenue, West Hazleton, and Redding Specialty Meats, located at 216 East 4th Street in Berwick. Here are some of this week's specials.
We're looking for a dealer that will take the time to get to know our needs.
And hook me up with something that has some all-wheel drive and some power. Bam!
And what will you be using the car for primarily?
Cycling, snowboarding, kayaking, you know.
Gardening, antiquing, and commuting to work.
I've got just the car.
Lease a 2014 Subaru Forester 2.5i CVT for $199 a month.
The right car.
The right price.
The right dealer. Fairway Subaru. Yeah.
We welcome you back to the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show here on WYLN. Coming up at the top of the hour, the Millionaires of Williamsport travel to Hazleton to take on the hometown Cougars. And we are live at Harmon Guy Stadium in Hazleton. And as you can see, the Hazleton Area High School Marching Band is finishing up, getting set up for tonight's pregame performance.
Area High School Band Parent Association.
In what looks to be a very entertaining pregame show that they are about to present. And it looks like they're just about ready. Let's head field level. Here is the Hazleton Area High School Marching Cougar Band. That has been the Hazleton Area High School Marching Band with their pregame performance. Outstanding job, as always, by that group. You are watching the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show here on WYLN. Coming up at the top of the hour, the Millionaires of Williamsport travel to Hazleton to take on the hometown Cougars. We'll be back with more from Harmon Guy Stadium right after this.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the Greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's You Pull It, we see value in your old car and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
Visit us for the lowest prices on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. This month, save 50% on Sealy mattresses or save up to $100 on select Lazy Boy furniture. And ask about our interest-free financing plans. Shop GrandCentral.com or visit us on Vine Street in Hazleton or Route 93 in Hazel Township.
Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
I've got 3 great deals for you. Here's a 2013 Mazda 3 iSport sedan, just $187 a month, sign and drive. Or this 2014 Mazda 6 Sky Active, 38 miles per gallon, $245 a month, sign and drive. Or this great 2014 Mazda CX-5 Sky Active, just $299 a month, sign and drive.
Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Burger Mazda, just off exit 145 off ID1, Route 93, Hazleton.
We welcome you back to the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show here on WYLN. Coming up at the top of the hour, the Cougars of Hazleton area play host to the Millionaires of Williamsport. Week number 4 of the high school football season here on WYLN. And we are just about set to head back down to the field level as the Hazleton Area High School Marching Band will perform our national anthem.
Thank you.
was the Hazleton Area High School Marching Band finishing up their pregame performance, which included a rendition of our national anthem, as well as the Hazleton Area High School alma mater. We thank you for joining us here on the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show. We are approaching the 10-minute mark until the top of the hour, in which we will bring you live high school football between Williamsport and Hazleton Area. I'm Marty Burns, joined by the coach, Joe DeMelfi. And Joe, you talked about Julius Ward being out at quarterback and the Cougars going with Ryan Heller, a junior, at quarterback. I thought one of the big things that Coach Drumheller mentioned in his pregame interview with us is that with Ward being unknown for Friday and now not medically cleared to play tonight, Heller was able to take all the first-team snaps. And, you know, you wouldn't expect to see problems with the center quarterback exchange or players jumping off, you know, with a different cadence, that type of thing.
I think there's the other part to that, Marty, is he was able to take 99% of the snaps with the first team. That's important during the week. It's important because of the repetitions involved. So I think that will definitely help. The other plus part for Hazleton is the team responded pretty well to Heller last week when he played. He had some completions. They moved the ball, played a pretty good ball game, just couldn't get it over the top. So I think the beginning of this ball game and how they respond to him will play an important part for the Cougars tonight.
You had mentioned Heller going 10 of 21 for 129 yards and a touchdown last week. No interceptions, and then that might be the bigger stat, that a young man that getting his first significant time at quarterback on the varsity level took care of the football, and you're looking for him to do that again tonight.
Well, I think there are two things there. Number one, is he reading the secondary? Obviously, he threw the ball a couple of times, didn't throw an interception. The other part to that is that the offensive line must have blocked pretty well. So, again, they need all of that in combination tonight to get over the top and get the first one.
And it'll be interesting to see how Williamsport defends Hazleton Area with Ward being out. Do you maybe gear up on the run and see if this young quarterback can beat you throwing the football?
Yeah, I think you look at a team and say, what are their strengths? Are they well balanced? If they're well balanced, now you're sort of 50-50. But if you feel like the run is their strength, then go ahead and you load up on that and say, if you're going to beat me by throwing the football. If you feel confident, Williamsport feels confident in the secondary, maybe they will load up with the run early and see what sort of force Heller to go ahead and see if he can get it downfield.
And we mentioned in the opening segment of the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show, I found it very interesting that one of the first things that Coach Drumheller mentioned when you talk about Williamsport is their athletes. And, you know, we can go back for however many years we've been watching Williamsport football. They've always had the athletes. You know, I always remember being here for one of the classic games between Williamsport and Hazleton Area when Darrell Blackman put on quite a show. And it took Hazleton Area a little bit, but they were able to contain him in the second half. And you just look to see that if Williamsport can isolate their athletes in a one-on-one situation and try to make some big plays tonight.
Yeah, and that's the gist of offenses today, Marty. Talk about Chip Kelly, you talk about Urban Meyer, you talk about all these other coaches. What they want to do is create space on the field. Let you try to tackle me one-on-one. Not an easy task. You know what helps? A pass rush helps in that case. You know what helps? Linebackers that are mobile. They can get underneath in passing situations. But like I said, that's the new thought. Sometimes I get frustrated watching high school teams try to incorporate that type of offense, but because it's the thing to do, right, not because it fits my personnel. I think you always have to look at your personnel. If you have people that can run, somebody can throw the ball to be a threat, spread the field, quarterback. If the quarterback gets outside, Marty, puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense. I thought Julius Ward did that well for Hazleton, gave him that extra. Let's see if Heller is able to do that.
And one of the other things, a couple weeks ago, we were up at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium when Hazleton area was defeated by Coughlin. At the end of that game, we saw Nick George being helped off the field. There seemed to be some uncertainty at the end of that game as to how serious the injury was. After an X-ray and I believe also an MRI was reported in the Hazleton Standard Speaker, was only a deep bruise to the ankle for Nick George. Played last week. He'll be in the lineup tonight, and that's one of the key things for Hazleton area to keep that senior leadership intact on the field. And one of the other players, Joe, that very interested to see hitting the starting lineup, Joseph Oliver, who last year I was very impressed with disrupting plays. He did not play in the opener against Scranton, played some against Coughlin, is now in the starting lineup for tonight's game. I know you've got a lot of things that you want to get to, but unfortunately we're winding down on the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show in what is a beautiful night for football here in Hazleton, and I'm sure we're going to get all the details from our very own meteorologist, Joe Garbacik, and I don't want to hear that S word that ends in W anytime soon. So thank you for joining us on the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show. Let's send it back to Joe Garbacik.
Thank you, Marty and Joe. Boy, what a spectacular evening shaping up for all of the high school football games across northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Beautiful conditions, clear skies, winds relatively light, no precipitation to talk about. That's because this area of high pressure has been in control, and it's been giving us the nice warm temperatures that we've been experiencing over the last couple of days. And there's nothing to show you on radar. It's going to continue to remain dry right through this evening, right through the duration of all of the high school football games, whether they're in Mountaintop or Berwick or Hazleton. Anywhere you go, the weather's going to be picture perfect through this evening. Here's a look at the live Lehigh Tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton, and pretty much these are the same conditions that you'll find on the field at Harmon Geist Stadium in Hazleton. We're in the upper 60s now as I speak. Dew point numbers are very low, so you don't have the humidity in the air. Pressure coming in at 29.94 inches of mercury, and again you can see those winds, not much of a factor, and for the entire game generally they should be under 5 miles per hour. And speaking of the game, we have one for you right at the top of the hour in just a few moments. Williamsport at Hazleton area. Kickoff, mid to upper 60s. Very nice indeed. Plenty of clear skies. Winds should be generally under 5 miles per hour. At halftime, about 66. Still mostly clear skies. Still mild. Winds continue to be relatively light, and the winds staying under 5 miles per hour for the drive home, with temperatures generally in the lower 60s, and it's going to continue to remain dry right through the rest of this evening. Later tomorrow, though, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, a front comes through, and that's going to bring in the next chance of seeing some more precipitation across our area. Well, don't change the channel, because coming up after these commercial messages, you will be seeing the kickoff, the start of tonight's game. Hazleton area and Williamsport. Stick around. We'll see you tonight at 10.
Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter.
Tennyson's Incorporated Machine Shop in Hazleton and Whitehaven. They specialize in automotive, industrial, and small engine parts. If you want reliability and quality, go to Tennyson's. Call them at 570-455-7761 or in Whitehaven, 570-443-9513.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this WILN Sports Special Presentation, week number 4 of the high school football season, as the Cougars of Hazleton area play host to the Millionaires of Williamsport. And you are looking live at Harmon Geist Stadium in Hazleton. We thank you for joining us tonight for continuing coverage of high school football here on WILN. I'm Marty Burns, joined as always by the coach, Joe DeMelfi. Jim Burns on the stats, and Joe, conspicuous by his absence, Joe Flanagan, attending a wedding in the Outer Banks of North Carolina this weekend. Next week, he's going to be looking to take a ride on the Sooner Schooner as he takes his annual trek to South Bend for the Fighting Irish matchup with Oklahoma. We'll have Joe back in 2 weeks.
Hopefully he won't get caught under the schooner.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to hear that when it comes, and he will hear about it, I'm sure. Going to look at the officials for tonight's game. The referee, Joe Yazviak. The umpire, Jim Blom. The linesman, Mr. Anthony Durso. Bob Polachek, the line judge. The side judge, Richard Bichetti. And the field judge, Jim Trusky. And we are just about set. The captains heading out to midfield. And they're going to go with the pregame coin toss with referee, Joe Yazviak.
Referee. Fellas, shake hands again. Okay, Hazleton, you won the toss and elected to receive. Yeah. Williamsport, coach said you want to defend the scoreboard, correct? All right, will you put your backs to the scoreboard? Williamsport and Hazleton, your backs over here.
That was referee Joe Yazviak with the pregame coin toss, and as he's signaling to the crowd, Hazleton area won the toss. They have elected to receive. And Joe, we're going to get to special teams, and for Hazleton area, that's been one of the bright spots of this early season. In the opener, we saw Zach Zukoski go 97 yards, a school record for a kickoff return for touchdown. So what does Coughlin do? They kicked to Jeff Oakes. He only took the opening kickoff 60 yards to set up their opening score of the night. So be interesting to see what Coach Choate elects to do here as far as kickoffs, not only on this opening kickoff, but this whole evening.
Well, I think one of the things, too, when we go to pregame, we didn't even mention it today, but it's really a given. If you make mistakes on your special teams, obviously it's going to hurt you tremendously. One of the areas that Hazleton, as you mentioned, showed some real pluses is a kickoff return team, to be honest with you. And that's what we're going to see here to start the ball game.
So the Millionaires will be in the white. They're going to be going from right to left on your screen. Ethan Entz. Going to look at him wearing number 64. He will be kicking it away for the Millionaires. Hazleton area getting one final instruction before their kickoff return team heads out on the field. And Joe, we heard Joe Garbacek talk about it. Just a perfect night for football wherever you are watching high school football on this Friday night, and none different here at Harmon Geist Stadium. A perfect night for football.
Beautiful September night. Can't ask for anything more, Marty. Some very good games around the area. This being one of them, let's see which of these two teams, as we mentioned earlier, can right the ship.
The aforementioned Oakes and Zukoski back deep for Hazleton area to receive. The whistle goes, Entz checks, he is ready. Tonight's game is underway, and George from the 30. George is going to be brought down out across the 40-yard line to the 44. You see what the short kickoff does. Great field position for Hazleton area to start tonight. Get a look at that starting offense. Gunser, Kopczynski, Benet, Gasser, Despirito the line. Glenn Zukoski, the tight end, Oakes and Gavin Kopczynski, the receivers, Nick George, Zach Zukoski, and we've talked about Ryan Heller taking the helm at quarterback to start for the second straight week for Hazleton area. First play will be a running play for Hazleton area. And that'll be Zach Zukowski out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. A gain of about 3 on the play, and Hazleton area comes no huddle. Toss play to Zukowski. He spins in the Millionaire territory. He's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the Millionaire 45. Good for a Harry. You pull it. First down. Get a look at that Millionaire defense. Garner, Price, Pittenger, Westbrook up front. Umstead and Hoffman, the linebackers. Johnson, Williams, and Williams. Tajmir and Anthony. Harris and Chestnut round out the secondary. First and 10 from the Millionaire 43. Give us to the first man through George. George will be pulled down after a short gain of about 2. Making the play, Terrell Pittenger.
Pittenger did a great job from the backside. Heller wanted to fake that pitch and then gave it off inside to George. And Pittenger did a nice job coming in from the backside. Could have been a bigger play, obviously, if he hadn't been in on the tackle.
Zukowski gets the carry. Stiff arms one tackler, leans forward inside the 35 to about the 34. Third and short coming up for the Cougars.
Great block by A.J. Gasser. I don't know if we're going to get another chance to see that, but Gasser did an excellent job kicking the end out from his guard position.
This up-tempo pace by Hazleton area to start. Got to stay hydrated, and the official beverage of the WYLN Sports Crew is Hazel Park Water Store Spring Water. Third down and about 1. Toss play. Zukowski spins, has a first down and more. Zukowski just gets tripped up inside the 20 to the 18. Good for another. Harry's, you pull it. First down.
Marty, classic example of at the line of scrimmage, nobody wrapping their arms. Right here. Contact, but nobody runs out of some tackles. Excellent job by Zukowski picking up the yardage for the first down.
Pittenger made the touchdown-saving tackle as early on Zukowski, 5 carries, 35 yards, and it'll be Nick George with the carry. He's inside the 15 to the 13 as, for the first time tonight, the Cougars are in the Grand Central Red Zone.
I tell you, the offensive line for Hazleton area doing an excellent job right now, getting some good running, but they're making, creating that gap in the defensive line so the running back can get it up the field.
Ball marked at the Millionaire 13, 2nd and 5. Zukowski breaks away from 1 and 2 tackles, gets maybe a yard as the Millionaire defense converges on him.
Yeah, Cody Umstead had penetration for Williamsport area from his linebacker position, slowed the play down. So we're looking at a 3rd and about 6 for the Cougars.
All running plays to start for Hazleton area, and they'll run it again. George, he's going to be brought down inside the 10, very close to another Cougar first down.
Ran that inside dive off of a little bit of a fake pitch. Here you see it right there. He shows the ball up in the air like he's going to pitch it. Hands it off to George. Let's see what the officials. 4th and short.
And the Cougars are going to go for it. 4th and short. Zukowski gets the carry, has the first down and more. Touchdown, Cougars!
Zukowski had a chance at the line of scrimmage to plant, take it a little bit outside. Nice job by the right side of that offensive line. Here you see it. Right there, he plants just a little bit outside. Great blocking down. Touchdown, Cougars, off to a good start.
That replay brought to you by Service Electric Wilkes-Barre, highlighting the 2nd rushing touchdown of the season for Zach Zukowski. Tristan Williams on for the point after. Oaks to hold. Hold is down. Kick is up. And it is good. 8:32 remaining in in the opening quarter. Hazleton area strikes first. They lead it 7-0.
I've got 3 great deals for you. Here's a 2013 Mazda 3 iSport sedan, just $187 a month, sign and drive. Or this 2014 Mazda 6 Skyactiv, 38 miles per gallon, $245 a month, sign and drive. Or this great 2014 Mazda CX-5 Skyactiv, just $299 a month, sign and drive.
Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Burger Mazda, just off exit 145 off ID1, Route 93, Hazleton.
Swing to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy October 18th at the Alice E. Wiltsey Performing Arts Center at the historic castle in Hazleton. 2013 marks the 20th anniversary of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's remarkable arrival onto the music scene. And today, the high-energy 9-piece ensemble continues to remind the world that it's still cool to swing big band style. Join the party. Shake and move to the groove October 18th.
We welcome you back to Harmon Guy Stadium on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. The Cougars take the opening kickoff and go 56 yards in 9 plays and lead it 7-0 on Zach Zukoski's 8-yard run on 4th and short. Zukoski on that drive, 6 carries, 43 yards. George, 3 carries, 13 yards as the Cougars came out, put no pressure on Ryan Heller in his second start. All on the ground, successful drive, 7-0.
Great job by the offensive line as well as the running backs. Heller did a nice job of directing the offense.
Tristan Williams to kick it away. Short kick off the up man Umstead. Picks it up and he is going to be brought down inside the 20. Jesus Castillo, among others.
And that's the other part, Marty. The kickoff coverage team, Castillo, has been very good on that, the games we've done of the Cougars. And tonight he down the field quickly, ball bouncing around. Williamsport's going to have to start their offense on their own 18-yard line.
Dale Berkheimer, the quarterback, gave it to the first man through, Justin Hoffman. Hoffman out across the 20 to the 21. Let's get a look at that millionaire offense. Up front, it's Price, Westbrook, Walker, Pittenger, and Nork. Gardner, the tight end. Tanner Bashnick, along with Jed Chestnut, are the receivers. Dale Berkheimer, the quarterback, joined in the backfield by Isaac Faust and Justin Hoffman. 2nd and 8, Faust will get the carry, and the Cougar defense stands him up for a gain of about a yard. 3rd and long coming up for the Millionaires.
Yeah, one of the things that if you're Williamsport, and I think we talked about this, you have to develop some sort of balance. You don't want to get caught in a 3rd and long situation.
Get a look at that Cougar defense. Beltrami, Benet, Gasser, Oliver up front, Castillo, George, and the Zukoskis are the linebackers. Held and Basic the corners. Jeff Oakes, the leading tackler at safety.
Marty, by that I meant you don't want to get 3rd and long every series. Toss it to the short side.
And the Cougars read it well, bring him down for a loss. Castillo blew the play up, and his teammates converged and brought Faust down for a loss to force the punt.
They went with the fullback dive. They ran off tackle the left, toss left. Picked up a total of 2 yards after considering the loss. Not something you want to continue to do offensively. Have to have some balance. Now, field position obviously dictated a large part of that, but if you let that threaten you all the time.
Gardner does a great job of getting the punt away after the low snap. Oakes picks it up at the 47 of Williamsport, and that's where he'll be brought down. But the Cougars, for the 2nd straight possession, have great starting field position to start their 2nd drive, this time inside Millionaire territory.
Marty, I'll tell you what, Gardner did a great job. It could have been a 35, 40-yard difference in yardage if he hadn't fielded that punt. Low snap, he went after it, and was able to punt it away. The defense has to come to play right now.
So the Cougars will have it at the 46 on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. 7-0 Hazleton area with 6:27 remaining in the opening quarter. And they stick with the ground game. Zach Zukowski is going to be brought down after a gain of about 2 on the play. Pittenger, who has been very active defensively, brought him down for the tackle.
Yeah, Pittenger's done an excellent job from his defensive down position. Was up the field a couple of times, made a couple individual tackles. That the last being one of those individual tackles.
Zukowski eludes a couple of tacklers, gets to the 40 after a gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Zukowski again exhibiting a very strong running style. Ran out of a couple of tackles and picked up yardage when it looked like he was going to lose some yardage, Marty.
Show a blitz, toss to Zukowski. Zukowski lowers his shoulder, leans inside the 35 for a Harry's. You pull it. Cougar, 1st down.
Toss right side. We have a Cougar down as I'm sorry, one of the millionaires down.
The training staff of Williamsport out to check on the...
Here you see the Service Electric replay with Zukowski picking up a head of steam. Again, running out of some tackles. He picked up 3 extra yards right at the end. Pick up yardage and a 1st down for the Cougars.
That was very impressive, Joe. I'm beginning to think I might be able to take a week off. You could handle this all by yourself.
Let's not get crazy, Marty.
Did not get a chance to identify the injured millionaire player. And tell you what, Joe, if Coach Drumheller scripted this to start, not much better than what you could have scripted. You've come out, run the ball, you've established your ground game to start, and you got a 3-and-out on defense sandwiched in between these 2 offensive possessions. As we look at the former coach at Hazleton area and current principal, Rocco Petrone, and you know, it's football season when he keeps bringing out that blue shirt, Joe.
You know, I wondered if it was the same one.
I think it might be. That shirt was a trademark in their runs with a very good team led by Nate Eaches here at Hazleton area. That made a run in the state tournament. And that blue shirt, I think, has seen a lot of
action.
Yes.
I think one of the things, Marty, that obviously Coach Drumheller is thinking we're running the football, our offensive line's doing a nice job. You know, at some point they're going to start loading up on you. And you don't want to take a chance, although I'm talking about throwing the ball. Throwing off a play action once your offense is moving on the ground is usually a good gamble because the defense jumps on that play action.
Coach Choda's come out to check on his injured player. And saw it last week at Monoy area that, you know, when it comes to injuries, they take their time. Player safety is at the utmost concern.
Yeah, and I don't, especially if it's a head, neck, shoulder, that type thing. They don't want to make a snap judgment. But here the player is off the ground.
looks like the injured Millionaire player is Tone Williams.
Players coming over to help him off the field.
Which almost leads you to believe that it's some type of leg injury.
Well, I think one of the things that also here, Marty, is there was some continuity with that Hazleton offense. Something like this always says, now the two players are jogging off, so they're going to bring a card out. Young man will get a ride to the locker room or to the sideline.
And Tone Williams very gingerly heading to the golf cart. Looks like they will, as you mentioned, Joe, take the golf cart to the Williamsport sideline. Nice round of applause as Tone Williams will be looked at further on the Williamsport sideline. And, hope the best for Tone Williams. After the stoppage, the Cougars will start 1st and 10 from the Millionaire 33. After another rushing first down by Zach Zukowski. Heller under center. Approaching 5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Heller's going to throw. Looking for Oakes. Just out of his reach, incomplete.
Oakes was by the defensive back. Just a little fake there, and Oakes had a full head of steam. He ran by that defensive back, had a step or two on him. Heller just overthrew him by a bit, but goes back to what I was talking about. Good opportunity to take a chance.
Second and 10. This will be George. Hit hard in the middle by Justin Hoffman from his linebacker position, holding George to a gain of about a yard.
Hoffman stepped up, delivered a nice tackle. Play action, first down, incomplete. Second down, gain of about a yard, as you mentioned, Marty. Now we're looking at that 3rd and long situation that we've talked about quite a bit. Let's see what the Cougars have in store in their offense.
Two receivers set to the top of your screen, Kopczynski and Oakes. Heller's going to throw the screen to Zukowski. A lot of green space. Zukowski cuts it back, has a first down and more before he is brought down inside the 20 for another Cougar. Harry's, you pull it, first down.
Good call. Zach Zukowski is able to, and again, Marty, a lot of people downfield blocking for Zukowski, picks up the first down. Heller doing an admirable job right now, Marty, running that offense.
Cougars once again inside the Grand Central red zone. George gets the carry. George inside the 10 to about the 9. Gain of 7 on first down. And the other thing this strong running game to start for Hazleton area has done, this clock is moving as we're approaching 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Williamsport to this point has only run 3 plays from scrimmage.
Yeah, and I think one of the things Williamsport has to be aware of, get down by 2 scores, and all of a sudden you're playing catch-up, throw it up in the air and see what happens.
Toss to George, he fumbles it but hops on it all the way back to the 17. Loss of about 8 on the play. 3rd and long coming up for the Cougars.
Toss maybe just a number high should be fieldable. George needs to make that. I think the other part, that ball is moving pretty well. So, but you have to make that toss catch.
Going to run the ball with Zukowski. And Zukowski will get inside the 15 to about the 12. We've seen Tristan Williams kick a field goal. It'll be very interesting to see what the Cougars elect to do, and Tristan Williams will trot onto the field. Depending on where Oaks will line up, this will be about a 29-yard attempt for Tristan Williams.
Williams has a strong leg. Let's see if he's accurate on this kick.
Oaks gets the hold down. The kick is up, and it is good. Tristan Williams from 29 yards out with 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. The Cougars lead it 10-0.
Buy it at Barber Ford. It's a cut above the rest. Buy it at Barber Ford. Honest people where the deals are the best. Now is the time. Barber Ford is the place. The best cause I hear there's no mistake. You can't buy better. You can't buy better than Barber Ford.
Barber Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's U-Pull-It, we see value in your old car, and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
The Cougars have had the ball for 7 minutes, 55 seconds. Tristan Williams, a 29-yard field goal, and Hazleton area now leads 10-0 on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard.
There's a couple things, Marty. Number one, you can't go 3 and out offensively. Puts a lot of pressure on your defense. You have some players going both ways, become tired very early, and all of a sudden, you have that strong running attack, Marty, by Hazleton. Tougher and tougher, they start running out of tackles because people become tired.
Williams with a deep kickoff. This will be Tajmir Williams from the 12. Williams breaks a couple of tackles. Williams trying to get to the outside, and he slips down or may have been tripped up in Cougar territory, or he could have been gone. Nice kickoff return by Tajmir Williams.
Williams took the ball. We're going to see here. I think what happened right here, he breaks to his right, finds a little bit of a gap, and now he's going to try to cross over right here. Stumbled on the turf, went down. Great field position for the Millionaires.
They'll start 1st and 10 from the 49 on the 40-yard return by Williams. This is Faust. He's got, I believe, a first down as he stepped out of bounds inside the 40. And it does appear as Faust picks up a Harry's U-Pull-It first down. I apologize, I jumped the gun. They'll actually mark him out at the 39.
Yeah, I tell you what, Marty, anytime you have a backfield with speed, they can get downhill quick. 9 yards. He clipped it off just like that as Williamsport lines up for a second down play.
Faust bounces off the pile. Faust inside the 20. And Faust will be pulled down out of bounds near the 10. This time good for a Harry's U-Pull-It. First down.
There you see the isolation play, running out of tackles. Both teams not doing a very good job of wrapping their arms. Finally brought down at about the 6-yard line, as you mentioned, Marty.
First and goal, Millionaires. They'll actually mark it on the 10. Faust eluded one man, but is brought down for a short loss. Making the play for Hazleton area was Charles Benet.
I'll tell you what, Benet did a great job with penetration, wrapping his arms and bringing the ball carrier down.
Set up by the 40-yard kickoff return by Tajmir Williams. The Millionaires will have the ball not even for a minute. Second and goal. They take their first timeout, trailing 10-0.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
After the Williamsport timeout, second and goal, ball marked at the Cougar 11. They trail 10-0 with 1:02 remaining in the opening quarter. Faust trying to bounce it to the outside, is brought down by Joey Basic. Very nice play by Basic.
Excellent play by Basic. Motion man right to left, Basic closed in. They tried to run that play right at him. Well, you can see Joey Basic right here. Up, makes a very nice tackle. Brings him down. We're looking at third down and goal from about the 7. I'm sorry, about the 12.
Berkheimer, quick drop. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and Berkheimer will be brought down near the 5. Looks like about the 6. Fourth and goal. Williamsport does not have to run another play. They could take the end of quarter timeout to think about what they want to do here. Play clock, or game clock, excuse me, at 5. They're not going to get this playoff. Time's going to run out. We're through a quarter at Harmon Guy Stadium. The score, Hazleton area 10, Williamsport nothing. You're watching high school football on WILN.
Now Hazel Park Spring Water is proud to announce that they are the official water of the WILN Sports Crew and available for home delivery through J.W. Wargo Spring Water Delivery and JoJo's Beverage. Since 1915, the Kreisel family has been serving the area with quality meats. The tradition continues today with 5 generations at Hazel Park Quality Meats, 260 Washington Avenue, West Hazleton, and Redding Specialty Meats, located at 216 East 4th Street in Berwick. Here are some of this week's specials.
Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
We welcome you back. Start of the second quarter on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. Hazleton area in front, 10-0. Fourth down and goal coming up for the Millionaires. Ball marked at the Cougar 8. And it looks like the Millionaires will try a field goal. On for the field goal attempt, Benjamin Hillman, and that kick off to the left, no good from 25 yards out, as we'll keep it here.
Tell you what, Marty, big play by Basic on that drive. Stymied Williamsport's offense, came away with no points.
And it also looked like on that field goal, Carmen Beltrami got a hand on it, helped push it left. So the Cougar defense holds. After the big play on special teams and some big runs by Faust.
Yeah, we can get to your defense. Benet, Beza came up with big plays there as the Cougars come to the line of scrimmage.
Their first play of the second quarter. They're in the red going from right to left. Play action. Looking for the screen. Batted down. I believe Gardner, who was one of those in putting pressure on Heller, may have got a hand on it.
What has to happen? He made the fake. Now he has to distance himself from the defensive end, or else he's not going to be able to get the ball up and over. The play was well thought about, but Heller has to move quicker to distance himself from that defensive end who's under strong rush.
2nd and 10, the toss play to Zukowski. Zukowski gets a gain of a couple. And you may have seen in a couple of the shots in the background, the ambulance has left Harmon Guy Stadium. I believe Tone Williams in that ambulance and going to get further medical attention, and wish him the best, as he was injured about halfway through that opening quarter for Williamsport. Big down here for the Williamsport defense. 3rd and 8 from the Cougar 22. They can get a 3 and out and get the ball back. Heller out of the gun. Pass complete to Kopczynski. Breaks one tackle. And Kopczynski brought down at the 39. Gain of 17 on the play, and a Harry's you pull it. First down.
Hazleton area running parallel routes. Kopczynski did the stop about right at the line, maybe a little above it, first down line, maybe a little above it. The other route was up the field. Nobody stopped with Kopczynski's route. First down for the Cougars.
1st and 10 from the 39. Play action. Heller pumps, dumps it off to Zukowski, who breaks a couple of tackles. Zukowski in the millionaire territory for another Harry's you pull it. Cougar, first down.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that play took a long time to develop. Here you see it. Now he got some separation as one of the defenders tried to tackle. Did not bring Zukowski down.
And it looked like the injured millionaire player, Cody Umstead, and he may have been holding his arm, and that's from going from the tackle and the hard running of Zukowski. May have injured Umstead.
I think any time, again, that play, they've run it 3 times. One time it was knocked down, the other 2 times successful. And even though that took such a long time to develop, Zukowski was able to turn it into a first down and pretty good yardage.
They've run that play a couple of times tonight, about 3 times I can remember, and have had success 2 of those times. A big 3rd down play on the last scoring drive, and then here on this possession here.
Yeah, I think one of the things, Marty, when you incorporate a screen in your offense, I think you look at, and it works well, I think you look at the week you play a team, you incorporate at least one other screen, whether it be tight end screen, halfback screen, middle, fullback screen, just to give you another look. Once you go to that screen that's been successful over time, people are going to start looking for it. And the screen that you would put in along with that screen would be off of that screen. You'd make the same fake, but then maybe go to your tight end opposite.
We want to remind you, coming up at the half, we'll get a look at the Berger Family Dealership halftime stats, and we're going to have a couple of more giveaways. A gift certificate to the Hollywood Diner on the Airport Road in Hazel Township. And we're also going to give away a weekender from Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall, formerly the Red Buzzard. What is a weekender? It's a pizza and impasto along with a dozen wings. So stay tuned. We're going to be giving away those items coming up at the half. And we also want to remind you that high school football on WILN is brought to you by Northeast Gold and Silver Exchange inside the Churchill Mall. They're paying the highest prices for gold and silver, unwanted, broken, or new. Call them at 497-4177. Northeast, gold and silver. And the card is out for Cody Umstead. And don't want to speculate, but it appeared when he went for the tackle on Zukoski that he was favoring his arm. And he's going to settle into the golf cart, and they'll take him over to the Williamsport sideline. And hopefully Cody Umstead is okay trying to make the tackle on a hard run by Zach Zukoski for Hazleton area.
Yeah, anytime you lose starters, whether it be by injury or any other means, I mean, obviously that hurts your defense.
So the ball officially will be marked at the Millionaire 48. And the ball is put back into play. So they'll have to wait for the golf cart to get off the field. So both teams come back out. So Hazleton area. Ball back in play, 1st and 10 at the Millionaire 48. George on the carry. And George will get a short gain. Looks like they'll give him about 2 on the play. On those in on the play, Jesse Walker for Williamsport.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, one of the things I noticed there is the guy at the bottom of the pile early was Chestnut. Jed Chestnut is the safety man. So if you're looking at that, you're saying to yourself, maybe we ought to start looking at a play action again. If you have the safety man at the line of scrimmage making a tackle.
And we had talked about that near the end of the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show. Would Williamsport defensively force Eller to beat them throwing the football?
Exactly.
After that run by Zukoski of 6, 3rd down and 3 for the Cougars. Ball marked just shy of the Millionaire 41. Zukoski, the workhorse in this half, gets up 1st down and more before Chestnut brings him down inside the 35, but not before Zach Zukoski picks up another. Harry's, you pull it, 1st down.
Isolation, fullback on the linebacker. Good job on the line of scrimmage, left side. Big 1st down for the Cougars. 9:26 and running. Cougars have done a great job establishing their offense on the ground.
How about on 3rd down, Joe? 5 of 7 conversion for Hazleton area. Toss. This is Zukoski again. And I believe that was Pittenger, with the tackle after a short gain of about 2.
Pittenger with great pursuit to make that tackle from his defensive line position. If you look at statistics, I guarantee you the running straight at that Williamsport defense is a better percentage, a better yardage percentage than running sideline to sideline.
Fake the toss, Heller to pass. Looking for Oakes, and out of his reach again, incomplete.
Made the fake off of a pitch type action, tried to beat secondary one-on-one. Good coverage. I believe it was Dante Johnson for Williamsport.
I needed a drink from the official beverage of the WILN sports team. Hazel Park Water Store Spring Water. 3rd down and George the carry. He'll get inside the 30 to about the 28. It's going to leave the Cougars with a 4th down and about 5 coming up.
That brings up a 4th and 4.
Little too far for a field goal. Let's see what the Cougars come up with. 4th and 5. 8 minutes until halftime.
Two receivers set to the top of your screen. Heller is going to roll that way. Heller trying to get to the outside, has a first down and more. Still on his feet before being pushed out of bounds at the Millionaire 15. Good for Harry's. You pull it. First down.
Good block on the corner. Heller can run a bit. There's a fake right here. Right there you see Jeff Oakes with an excellent block. I'll tell you what, anytime you can keep a block that long and not be called for holding is a good job, because Heller took a while to get to the corner, but he was downhill all the way.
3 Cougar possessions for the third time tonight. The Cougars enter the Grand Central Red Zone with a 1st and 10 at the Millionaire 14. As the clock approaches 7.5 minutes remaining in the half. First man through is George. George, a gain of 4 to the 10.
Second and 6 from the 10.
Hazleton area does not have to be in a hurry. They're pretty much in, they have some continuity on offense.
Handoff to Zukowski, and Zukowski gets about 6, close to another first down. It'll depend on the spot.
You see right at it. There you see that offensive line. DeSpirito, Gasser, Benet, Kopczynski, Gunser. They're doing a great job pushing the defense off the ball, giving the backs room to run.
Joe Jozwiak wants the chains to come out, I believe, to take a closer look, see if Zukowski picked up the first down. As Zukowski mentioned, the workhorse, 15 carries, 84 yards and a touchdown in this opening half. And the chains say it's good for a Harry's. You pull it. First down. One of the things that you talked about, Joe, before that last play, talked about a flow, but almost seems like Hazleton offensively has a good rhythm going. They're getting the plays in at a timely manner and getting the plays off. As you look at those opening quarter stats.
One of the things you have to do defensively, Marty, is come with a corner blitz. You need to take a chance. You have to disrupt that running game.
Hazleton area has 10 first downs to Millionaires 1. George up the middle, and they'll rule him down at about the 1 yard line after a gain of 3. There's those stats. Millionaires 41 rushing yards to Hazleton area's 23. I'm not. Second and goal for the Cougars. George again, and this time he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. First rushing touchdown of the season for Nick George.
Nice job by the offensive line. Strong running style. Cougars into the end zone. There you see it. Just enough push by that offensive front.
Tristan Williams on for the point after. Kick is up, and it is good. 5:51 left in the second quarter. Hazleton area now leads it 17-0.
We're looking for a dealer that will take the time to get to know our needs.
And hook me up with something that has some all-wheel drive and some power. Bam!
And what will you be using the car for primarily?
Cycling, snowboarding, kayaking, you know.
Gardening, antiquing, and commuting to work.
I've got just the car.
Lease a 2014 Subaru Forester 2.5i CVT for $199 a month.
The right car.
The right price.
The right dealer. Fairway Subaru. Yeah.
Schumacher Engineering Incorporated, providing diversified consulting engineering services throughout the Northeast for over 30 years. Call 455-9407 for Schumacher Engineering Incorporated.
Another extended Hazleton area drive offensively, which they go 80 yards and take over 6 minutes off the clock. Nick George this time the recipient of the rushing touchdown, and Hazleton area leads it 17-0.
Let's see if George keeps that thing on the ground rather than kicking it away with the last return by the Williamsport kickoff return team.
With these long drives from Hazleton area, only 5:51 left in this opening half. And Williams will get a deep kick. This one will be taken by Bryce Harris. Harris across the 25. Harris cuts it back. Harris up the middle into Cougar territory. He's got one man to beat. Bryce Harris inside the 10. Touchdown, Williamsport.
Bryce Harris,
I'll tell you what, Marty. The team and we've seen that they have that type of capability. If a team has that type of capability, you keep the ball away from the deep end.
An 88-yard kickoff return for touchdown by Bryce Harris.
Bryce Harris going left, cutting back right, then takes it up the field, lets his speed take over. Nice block right there. Harris for the 6.
I'll tell you, when you see a guy with a football and your guys, 3 or 4 white shirts joining him, stand a good shot. What do they call that, Joe? The harvest moon?
If there was anybody on the moon watching, I bet you they thought that was a good return.
As Harris did go toward where the moon is at that end zone here at Harmon Guy Stadium. So just like that, the Millionaires with a chance to get the deficit back to 10. As Benjamin Hillman on for the point after. The kick is up, and it is good. 5:34 left in the opening half. It's now 17-7. Cougars.
Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
Visit us for the lowest prices on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. This month, save 50% on Sealy mattresses or save up to $100 on select Lazy Boy furniture. And ask about our interest-free financing plans. Shop GrandCentral.com or visit us on Vine Street in Hazleton or Route 93 in Hazel Township.
Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
Tennison's Incorporated Machine Shop in Hazleton and Whitehaven. They specialize in automotive, industrial, and small engine parts. If you want reliability and quality, go to Tennison's. Call them at 570-455-7761 or in Whitehaven, 570-443-9513.
Hazleton area has methodically controlled the clock, jumped out to a 17-0 lead, and just like that, Bryce Harris, an 88-yard kickoff return, has Williamsport on the board and down 10 on the Berger Family Dealership second quarter scoreboard. 5:34 remaining here in the opening half.
Harris did a nice job fielding that kickoff, a little bit maybe above his head, not much, and he brought it down and took off.
Ents will kick it away. It'll take one bounce and picked up by Zukoski at the 20. Zach Zukoski out up across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. That's where the Cougars will start first and 10.
37-yard line. First and 10.
Now the one thing, you get that big special teams play, all of a sudden your defense hops right back out on the field.
Yeah, well, you never can underestimate the spark that a big special teams play can have. Let's see if defense responds. As excellent job by Hoffman, Justin Hoffman, from that linebacker position, up inside, making the tackle very quick.
As you see on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard underneath each team, the yellow blocks signify how many timeouts they have remaining in the half. Williamsport with 2. We'll see if that'll come into play, if they can get a 3 and out and get the ball back.
Yeah, and again, Hazleton had some continuity. They shouldn't force themselves to lose that. They gained 1 yard there, but they keep the offense they've been trying to do as Coach Drumheller calls timeout.
First timeout for the Cougars. They lead it 17-7.
Tri-County Business Machines has been serving the Hazleton area with office supplies and furniture for over 35 years. We are your local Kyocera dealer for all your digital Kyocera copiers, printers, and faxes. For exceptional reliability, sales, and service, the call to make is to Tri-County Business Machines. Tri-County Business Machines, keeping your office up to speed. Tri-County Business Machines, located at 117 East Broad Street, Hazleton. Phone 459-0754 or visit us on the web at tricountybm.com.
As a diabetic, where do I turn for the special healthcare products and advice I need?
Come into your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy. We specialize in the unique concerns and needs you have as a diabetic patient. Your Good Neighbor pharmacist has a fully trained staff, stocks a broad selection of the products you need, and takes a personal interest in your health and well-being.
After the Cougar timeout, 4:38 remaining, and a 2nd and long for the Cougars. As they lead 17-7. Heller hit as he throws. Hoffman, who has been sparked by this special teams play by Harris, was the one that got through and hit Heller as he threw it.
I'll tell you what, the special teams play made an impression on Hoffman. He did a great job there being in Heller's face. So we're looking at 3rd and long for the Cougars now.
How about this ground game of Hazleton area? Time of possession, 14:55 for the Cougars, only 4:27 for Williamsport. Hazleton area has run 33 plays compared to Williamsport's 8.
I mean, there's no doubt they are dominating the clock. They're up 17-7. 3rd and 9 for the Cougars.
Heller throws. Kopczynski, the big catch. Chestnut will bring him down in Millionaire territory, but not before another. Harry's you pull it first down.
Kopczynski is a very savvy receiver. He ran that route, forced the defensive back to take 1 or 2 steps back, Marty, and he knew where the chains were. Ran that route at about 11 yards, 12 yards. Stop pattern, good throw by Heller.
Zukowski up the middle. He'll get about a yard. 2nd and long coming up for the Cougars.
Pittenger again in on the tackle with help from that Millionaire defense as the clock winds down to 4 minutes before half.
2nd down and 9 from the Millionaire 47. Again, Zach Zukowski to carry. Zukowski will be dragged down by Faust inside the 40. Good for another. Harry's you pull it. Cougar, first down.
Zukowski, a little bit of a gap on the right side, took it back to the left side, picked up good yardage for the first.
Ball marked at the Millionaire 36. 1st and 10, under 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Heller, quick drop, throws, complete to Oakes. Oakes inside the 25, brought down at the 21, a gain of 15, and a Harry's you pull it first down.
Jeff Oakes with a nice route. Again, good timing with the quarterback, Heller. Oakes and Kopczynski doing an excellent job on the catch and then taking it up the field.
Millionaires take their 2nd time out on defense. They trail by 10. We'll keep it here. We want to remind you, coming up at the half, we'll get a look at the Berger Family Dealership halftime stats. They're being compiled by Jim Burns. We're also going to give away a gift certificate to the Hollywood Diner. And we're going to give away a weekender. The Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall. What's a weekender? It's a pizza and impasto along with a dozen wings. So stay tuned at the half if you entered. Especially stay tuned. See if you were the winner tonight. Remember, head out to both the Hollywood Diner and Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall. In the upcoming week, we may be announcing your name in next week's game between Pittston area and Hazleton area. So Williamsport, trying to get things settled down defensively, takes the timeout. They'll have one remaining. Hazleton area with 2 and 3:18 left. They'll have a 1st and 10 from the Millionaire 21-yard line.
Along with strong running defensive line blocking, Kopczynski and Oaks, as we had some movement on defense, which is going to draw a flag.
I'll tell you how well this half has gone. I had to confer with Jim Burns. First penalty tonight for the Cougars, because it's been very rare, if any, that they've been in very long situations. They'll have a 1st and 15 here.
And that goes back to our pregame, Marty. We talked about some mistakes, keeping them to a minimum.
Zukoski dragged down by Jay Westbrook after a gain of about a yard. Not only was it the first penalty on Hazleton area, Jim Burns says first penalty overall tonight. So a combination of a very well-played game here in week number 4, and, you know, the officials letting them play a little bit too.
Westbrook made that tackle, a fistful of jersey, held on.
Shades of when Joe DeMelfi played high school football. Zukoski again tried the right side, and again Hoffman coming up with the play.
We talked about Hoffman several times on this drive. He's made some big plays.
So it'll be 3rd down and 14. Clock continues to run. It'll approach 2:10 remaining on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard.
We used to have dinosaur acts at halftime when I played.
Well, I take it you didn't play with a pigskin at that point.
I don't know what it was. It was some kind of animal.
Quick drop by Heller. Incomplete, looking for Kopczynski. It'll bring up 4th down.
Looked like a good throw. A rare drop by Kopczynski on a slant pattern. Looked like he might have had something, and my other thought is Kopczynski looking to the end zone before he has the ball in his hands?
So we'll see what the Cougars will run here as the offense will stay on the field. They'll go for it 4th and 14 from the 25 of Williamsport. And Coach Drumheller wants to take his second timeout to set up this play. They lead it 17-7.
Timeout, Hazleton.
We'll keep it right here.
Timeout.
This is a big play in this ball game, Joe. I felt for more than a quarter and a half, Hazleton area had control with this ground game. But that big special teams play got Williamsport back in this game. If Hazleton area comes up empty here on this possession, got to figure Williamsport's confidence has got to continue to go up.
I think that's true, Marty. I also think you have to think back here and say, okay, what has worked well for Hazleton? Now the ball's on the right hash, a lot of field left side. Are they going to go? Will they go to that screen again? When you know Williamsport's going to be rushing up the field. That's why I said rather than just one screen, and I'm not sure that they may decide to go downfield at the first down marker. Kopczynski has run a nice route doing that, so has Oaks. But let's see what the Cougars decide to do.
And Joe, I thought it was like a quiz. I was going to give you the answer that maybe they go to that screen to the left side. I didn't write it down, of course. You had to take me on my word. Heller looking for Oaks in open field. Oaks is going to go. Touchdown, Cougars!
Oaks ran that route the reason he was wide open, he ran the route very tight to line of scrimmage. We're going to take, I believe, a look at that again. But you're going to see him in motion on the right side. Now, he sneaks behind that line of scrimmage. Nobody picks him up. He is disguised. The secondary can't see him because of the linebackers.
Williams on for the point after. Hold is down. Kick is up and no good. 1:50 left in the opening half. The Cougars lead it 23-7.
I've got 3 great deals for you. Here's a 2013 Mazda 3i Sport Sedan, just $187 a month, sign and drive. Or this 2014 Mazda 6 Sky Active, 38 miles per gallon, $245 a month, sign and drive. Or this great 2014 Mazda CX-5 Sky Active, just $299 a month, sign and drive.
Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Burger Mazda, just off exit 145 off ID1, Route 93, Hazleton.
Swing to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy October 18th at the Alice E. Wiltsey Performing Arts Center at the historic castle in Hazleton. 2013 marks the 20th anniversary of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's remarkable arrival onto the music scene. And today, the high-energy 9-piece ensemble continues to remind the world that it's still cool to swing big band style. Join the party. Shake and move to the groove October 18th.
After the big special teams play by Bryce Harris got Williamsport on the board, Hazleton area goes 10 plays, 63 yards, 3:44 off the clock. The big play on 4th and 14. Heller finds Oaks from 25 yards out. Oaks' speed did the rest. Cougars in front 23-7. Ryan Heller with his second touchdown passing on the season. I hate to give him the YLN jinx, Joe, but still no interceptions. Point being, Heller's done a nice job of managing the game.
Managing the offense, right, Marty? It's very important. You know, you look at incompletions, interceptions, but if you look at the good ones, they can manage the game.
Williams to kick it away. This time a short squibbing kick taken by one of the up men for Williamsport. Romello Martin brings it up to the Millionaire 43 and an injured Cougar on the field. So we'll have an injury timeout here.
It's one of the things we were talking about, Marty, with the deep men being real threats. Try to bounce that thing down. Better they have the ball on the 44 or 43 rather than pick up 7 points on the play or 6.
We'll see how Williamsport will elect to do it. They'll have the ball at the 43. 1:43 left in the half, but only one timeout. Leaving number 30, Mitch Sefcik, is the injured Cougar on the field.
Marty, I think as a coach, you need to be careful. Number one, you have 7 points on a kickoff return. There are 1:43 seconds left first half. Your offense has been sporadic, haven't run a lot of plays. You don't want to turn it over here and look at a bigger deficit at half. So let the clock run, work on your running game. You want to take a shot downfield with little time left on the clock, that's fine.
This will be Martin with the carry. He's got a first down and more inside the Cougar 45 to the 43. Gain of 14 on the play for Romello Martin, and a Harry's you pull it first down.
I'll tell you what, now you have to manage the clock also. Coach Choate's going to have to look at that clock, look at his timeouts. He has one left.
Fans at home knew that. They checked out the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard and saw the one yellow block under Williamsport's name. Berkheimer to pass. It is complete to Hoffman. Hoffman pulling his way near the 30, and good for another. Harry's, you pull it first down. I believe he also got out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, Marty, stops the clock, which is what you want. This is a flat pass. Hoffman lined up very tight to that side. Did an excellent job getting out of bounds. 117.
And all of a sudden, the Millionaires at the Cougar 29, 1st and 10. Plenty of time, 1:17 left in the half. Berkheimer, play action rolls. Throws, complete to Gardner. Gardner loses the football. Loose inside the 5. Cougars say they got it. It is Hazleton area football. Joey Basic on the recovery for Hazleton area.
I'll tell you, a great pattern. The fake right there. Gardner, ball on the ground after a strong tackle downfield, and Basic jumps on it. Excellent job by the defense.
Third game we've seen Hazleton area. Jesus Castillo forced the fumble. He's had some big plays so far this season.
I'll tell you what, Marty, he has had some real big plays. Gardner made a nice catch, just couldn't hold on to it.
Now the Cougars take over at the 3, 1st and 10. Heller kept it himself, went right up the middle for a gain of about 6.
I'll tell you, if you're Williamsport, that really becomes a mind thing right there. Gardner with a nice route. Good throw by Berkheimer.
Heller again up the middle. He'll get a push of about 3 yards, 3rd and short. But to this point, Hazleton area does not have to run another play. And it doesn't look like Williamsport has, I may have spoken too soon. Coach Choate takes his last time out with 14.9 seconds left and force Hazleton area to run one more play.
Again, I don't know if I would have called that. Coach Choate might feel let's let him snap it again. Let's see what happens. Ball goes on the ground. You never can tell. Williamsport used that last time out.
If not for one 88-yard kickoff return for touchdown by Bryce Harris, Hazleton area has had this half go pretty much the way they would have wanted, as they lead 23-7, looking to finish up this 3rd down play. And the way they're setting up, they look to be getting ready to go in the victory formation as Williamsport, no timeouts left.
Exactly.
Take a knee and let's go to halftime.
Exactly. If you do happen to mishandle that, at least you have a chance right there. And no idea what that was about. Clock will run down with the Cougars up by 16.
As Joe mentioned, the clock runs out. Coming up at the half, we'll get a look at the Berger Family Dealership halftime stats. We'll give away a gift certificate to the Hollywood Diner. A weekender will be given away from Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall. We'll also get a halftime band performance from the Hazleton area Marching Cougars. And much more from Harmon Guy Stadium. Once again, the score at the half. Hazleton area 23, Williamsport 7. You're watching high school football on WILN.
Buy it at Barber Ford. It's a cut above the rest. Buy it at Barber Ford. Honest people where the deals are the best. Now is the time. Barber Ford is the place. The best cause I hear there's no mistake. You can't buy better. You can't buy better than Barber Ford.
Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's You Pull It, we see value in your old car and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
We welcome you back to Harmon Guy Stadium on the Berger Family Dealership halftime scoreboard. The Cougars leading the Millionaires 23-7. And as I mentioned near the end of that opening half, Joe, if you're Coach Drumheller and his staff, things pretty much went the way you would have liked that opening half to go. Other than that big kickoff return by Bryce Harris, Coach Drumheller mentioned it in our pregame interview. He basically told that offensive line, this is your game. And he proved that they strong rushing attack, have not put Heller in a lot of tough situations. Hazleton area has pretty much controlled that opening half and lead it by 16.
Yeah, their offensive line has done a great job, as well as their defensive line, Marty. But offensively, they've rushed the ball, dominated the clock. They're up by 16. So when you go into halftime in a game like this, you need to talk about what we're doing well. Let's continue to do that. Maybe throw a wrinkle or two in. Talk about their threats, which right now are returning that kickoff a long way, keeping the ball in front of those kickoff return people. See what happens second half as the Marching Cougars
got to see the Hazleton area marching band pregame, and a special treat for the band as they get to come back out at the half and perform as well here at Harmon Guy Stadium, which their football team leads at the half by a score of 23-7. The marching band being introduced to the crowd here at Harmon Guy Stadium. And it looks like the band is ready to go. Let's head field level. It is halftime, and the halftime performance of the Hazleton area High School.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a big round of applause for the Hazleton area Marching Cougars.
That has been the Hazleton Area High School Marching Cougars with their halftime performance. Outstanding as usual. Here at half at Harmon Guy Stadium, their Cougars lead it at the half by a score of 23-7. We have much more coming up at the half. You're watching high school football live right here on WILN.
I've got 3 great deals for you. Here's a 2013 Mazda 3i Sport Sedan, just $187 a month, sign and drive. Or this 2014 Mazda 6 Sky Active, 38 miles per gallon, $245 a month, sign and drive. Or this great 2014 Mazda CX-5 Sky Active, just $299 a month, sign and drive.
Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Burger Mazda, just off exit 145 off ID1, Route 93, Hazleton.
Now, Hazel Park Spring Water is proud to announce that they are the official water of the WILN Sports Crew and available for home delivery through JW Wargo Spring Water Delivery and JoJo's Beverage. Since 1915, the Kreisel family has been serving the area with quality meats. The tradition continues today with 5 generations at Hazel Park Quality Meats, 260 Washington Avenue, West Hazleton, and Redding Specialty Meats, located at 216 East 4th Street in Berwick. Here are some of this week's specials.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's You Pull It, we see value in your old car, and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
Buy it at Barber Ford. It's a cut above the rest. Buy it at Barber Ford. Honest people where the deals are the best. Now is the time. Barber Ford is the place. The best cause I hear there's no mistake. You can't buy better. You can't buy better than Barber Ford.
Barber Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter.
We welcome you back to Harmon Geist. At the half, the Cougars in front 23-7 on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. We are moments away from getting a look at the highlights from that opening half. They're being brought to you by Service Electric Wilkes-Barre. It starts with Hazleton Area going 9 plays, 56 yards to start the game. Zach Zukoski on a big play getting the Cougars into the Grand Central red zone. And on 4th and short, Zukoski from 8 yards out made it 7-0 Hazleton Area. Then after the Cougars get a field goal, Heller on the 4th and 5 goes 14 yards for the Cougar first down. And that set up this Nick George 1-yard plunge, and Hazleton Area found themselves in front 17-0 after the 80-yard drive. That took over 6 minutes off the clock. But the ensuing kickoff, Bryce Harris picked it up for Williamsport at his 12. He would go 88 yards, getting some key blocks along the way, and Harris would put the Millionaires on the board. They would now trail 17-7. But Hazleton Area would answer, going 10 plays, 63 yards, and on 4th and 14, Heller to Oakes, and Oakes' speed took over. Point after no good, and at the half, the Cougars lead it 23-7. But before the half, Berkheimer would roll right, find his tight end Gardner, and Castile forces the fumble. Joey Basic jumps in there and recovers for the Cougars. stopping another Williamsport scoring opportunity. What's keeping the Millionaires with 7 at the half. Time to get a look at the halftime stats, brought to you by Burger Family Dealerships and compiled by Jim Burns.
Marty, you're looking at the dominating Hazleton area team. 14 first downs to 3 for Williamsport. 143 yards rushing, 55 for the Millionaires. 101 passing for the Cougars, 40 yards passing for the Millionaires. 95 total yards for the Millionaires, 244 Hazleton area. 1 turnover, big one for Williamsport. No turnovers for Hazleton. Penalty free, just about. Only 1 penalty by Hazleton, 5 yards.
Big half, dominated by Hazleton area. The special teams play has Williamsport down by only 2 scores. Now time for our halftime giveaways. We'll start with Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall, formerly the Red Buzzard. Be sure to register each week for a delicious weekender. What's a weekender? It's a pizza and impasto along with a dozen wings done just the way you like. Register this week at the Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall, and we may be announcing your name next week at halftime of Pittston area, Hazleton area, just like Jeff Cerula, the winner tonight from Hazleton. Jeff, congratulations, you won a weekender from Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall, formerly the Red Buzzard. We now move to the Hollywood Diner. Every game you can win a gift certificate to the Hollywood Diner. Just head out to the Hollywood Diner on the Airport Beltway and register. And at the next halftime of the Patriots and Cougars next week, we might be announcing your name, just like tonight from Hazleton, Phil Papajohn. Congratulations, Phil. You've won a gift certificate to the Hollywood Diner. So make your way to Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall and the Hollywood Diner. Register, and we may be calling your name next week at halftime between Pittston area and Hazleton area. Jeff Cerula, a winner of a weekender from Chef Buzz's Hole in the Wall. Phil Papajohn, a winner of a gift certificate to the Hollywood Diner. We're going to take another break. I'm going to get a drink of the official beverage of the WILN sports team, Hazel Park Water Store Spring Water. Coming up after the break, third quarter action with the score, Hazleton area 23, Williamsport 7. You're watching live high school football on WILN.
I've got 3 great deals for you. Here's a 2013 Mazda 3 iSport sedan, just $187 a month, sign and drive. Or this 2014 Mazda 6 Skyactiv, 38 miles per gallon, $245 a month, sign and drive. Or this great 2014 Mazda CX-5 Skyactiv, just $299 a month, sign and drive.
Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Burger Mazda, just off exit 145 off ID1, Route 93, Hazleton.
Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
Visit us for the lowest prices on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. This month, save 50% on Sealy mattresses or save up to $100 on select Lazy Boy furniture. And ask about our interest-free financing plans. Shop GrandCentral.com or visit us on Vine Street in Hazleton or Route 93 in Hazel Township.
Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
As a diabetic, where do I turn for the special healthcare products and advice I need?
Come into your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy. We specialize in the unique concerns and needs you have as a diabetic patient. Your Good Neighbor pharmacist has a fully trained staff, stocks a broad selection of the products you need, and takes a personal interest in your health and well-being.
Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
Tri-County Business Machines has been serving the Hazleton area with office supplies and furniture for over 35 years. We are your local Kyocera dealer for all your digital Kyocera copiers, printers, and faxes. For exceptional reliability, sales, and service, the call to make is to Tri-County Business Machines. Tri-County Business Machines, keeping your office up to speed. Tri-County Business Machines, located at 117 East Broad Street, Hazleton. Phone 459-0754, or visit us on the web at tricountybm.com.
We welcome you back to Harmon Guy Stadium in Hazleton. Moments away from the start of the third quarter. Both teams have returned to the field with Hazleton area in front 23-7. Thank you for joining us tonight on WILN. I'm Marty Burns, joined by the coach Joe DeMelfi, Jim Burns on the stats, and some opening half individual stats. We'll start with Williamsport. Isaac Faust, 6 carries, 35 yards. Romello Martin, 1 carry, 14 yards. Quarterback Dale Berkheimer is 2 of 2 for 40 yards, with Gardner getting 1 reception for 26 before Castillo forced the fumble near the end of the half. For Hazleton area, Zach Zukowski, 20 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Nick George, 10 carries, 34 yards, and a touchdown. How about Ryan Heller? 3 carries, 23 yards. Heller passing the ball, very efficient that opening half, Joe. 6 of 11, 101 yards, and the touchdown near the end of the half on 4th and 14. That touchdown went to Oaks, 2 catches for 40 yards. Gavin Kopczynski, 2 catches, 33 yards. Zach Zukowski, 2 catches, 28 yards. Third down efficiency, Williamsport 0 for 2. Cougars 6 of 10. On 4th down, Williamsport is yet to go for it. Hazleton, not only are they 3 for 3, 2 of those touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that's what happens when your offensive line's blocking so well. The other part I like about those statistics, Coach Drumheller and his staff have given Heller routes throwing the ball to be successful. And Oaks and Kopczynski have done a nice job, but and the offensive line. But he hasn't been asked to do anything extraordinary. Throw it 70 yards down the field.
There you're going to look at Heller's stats. As we mentioned, 6 of 11, 101 yards, and the touchdown. And how about some of the other key stats, Joe? We talked about how much Hazleton area has been in control. 18 minutes, 51 seconds time of possession to only 5:09 for Williamsport. The Cougars have run 46 plays in that opening half. Williamsport only 11.
Yeah, one of the other things about that, you know, we talk about the offenses today. They like to run a lot of plays. I mean, if Hazleton would keep it up, you're looking 85, 90 plays, which is a lot of offensive plays in a football game. I don't care what level.
Harris and Williams back deep for the Millionaires. The Cougars in the red. They'll be going from right to left on your screen. Tristan Williams will kick it off. He has a 29-yard field goal to his credit tonight. And tonight's second half from Harmon Guy Stadium is underway. Short squibbing kick taken by one of the up men for Williamsport. Tanner Bashnick fielded the kick, and he gets out to the Millionaire 35.
Quick coverage by that kickoff coverage team. Did a very good job. The ball was caught or fielded at about the 30. Brought it back to the 35. So the kickoff coverage team doing an excellent job for the Cougars.
So we'll see what adjustments Williamsport has made. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Start on the ground with Faust. And Faust will be brought down after about a yard gain. George on the tackle.
At this point, Marty, Williamsport does not have to be in a big hurry. They're down 16. They have time, but they need to make positive yardage on 1st and 2nd down. And I'm not talking about just +1, +2. They need to make positive yardage, +5 or more on the first 2 downs to have a shot at moving the ball.
Isaac Faust again on the carry.
Got the mark at about the 41. That's going to leave about 4 yards, and we have a flag on the play. Possibly a holding.
It's right at the 41. Joe Jozwiak with the call.
5 yard face mask defense.
And it's good with the stadiums that have the capability to listen into the referee.
A lot of people hanging on to the ball carrier. Inevitably, somebody wants to reach to make the tackle and ended up grabbing the face mask. First down for the Millionaires.
Millionaires will get a Harry's You Pull It first down by penalty. Have the ball at their 46, 1st and 10. Castillo and Beltrami meet Faust and drop him for a loss.
Not a way you want to start the series. Where you see it. Beltrami, Castillo, ball carrier down.
That replay brought to you by Service Electric Wilkes-Barre. We also want to remind you at the end of tonight's game, Joe and I will select a Fairway Subaru player of the game. Toss to Faust. Faust brought down by Beltrami after a gain of about 3 to the 47. 3rd and about 9 coming up for the Millionaires.
Beltrami and Zach Zukowski did an excellent job. They had that eye slot right. They tried to run the toss to the slot, they being Williamsport. And Beltrami and Zach Zukowski right there. Zukowski very quick on run coverage.
Berkheimer out of the gun, throws it, it's intercepted by Nick George. George down the sideline. Faust, the last man to get him, and he'll drag him out of bounds inside the 5.
Nick George from the linebacker's position. Underneath, watch the throw. Underneath the route. The route needs to be run outside or further inside. Preferably outside. The linebacker has a hard time getting that drop. Nick George with a great drop, good interception. Cougars in great position to add to their lead.
First interception of the year by Nick George. He returns at 46 yards to the Millionaire 4. The Cougars in the Grand Central red zone, 1st and goal. Handoff is to George. And George will be brought down after a gain of 3.
There you see the dive right side. George brings it back a little. Stopped just short. Looked like about the 1.5.
Second and goal for the Cougars. George pushes his way, end zone, touchdown, Cougars. Second touchdown of the night for Nick George.
Turnover by Williamsport. That's their second one that has cost them. And the Cougars converted into 6 points, maybe 7 if they kick it. And they grow their lead.
Tristan Williams on for the point after. Kick is up and perfect. 8:58 left in the 3rd. The Cougars now lead it 30-7.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
Beginning of the second half has been a Nick George second half, a 46-yard interception return to the Millionaire 4, and then George from 2 yards out has given the Cougars a 30-7 lead on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. Joe, a scoring update from your town in Berwick at Crispin Field. The Bulldogs leading the Spartans 21-14 in third quarter action. And we've been told the Spartans are on the move looking for the tie.
Good game. Big game in the area.
Over the head of Tajmir Williams into the end zone is the kickoff. Touchback will make it 1st and 10 for the Millionaires. And as that kickoff was hit by Tristan Williams, I have been told that the Spartans have tied the game at 21.
Marty, that kickoff over the head of the return men, which is, and when the ball rolls in the end zone, automatically out to the 20. So the Cougars capitalized on the turnover. Let's see what the Millionaires have in store as they are down 23.
Stay with the running game, and Faust, not much there. George and Glenn Zukoski bring him down.
Again, I go back to what I said earlier with the plus yardage on 1st and 2nd down. You want to have plus yardage more than just 1 or 2, because then the 3rd down puts you in a situation where you have to convert, especially when you're down 23, Marty.
Faust trying to bounce it to the outside. Gets a block, and the Faust will pull his way out across the 30. Good for a Harry's you pull it. Williamsport, 1st down.
I'll tell you what's interesting, Marty. Hazleton area, much more effective running that thing right at you. Tackle, end to end. Williamsport area, more effective on the corner. They have a little bit of speed. When the backs go downhill after they get outside, they're definitely a threat. 1st down for the Millionaires.
8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Hazleton area leading 30-7 over Williamsport. Martin back in the game. And a big play right off the bat by Zeb Kopczynski.
I'll tell you what, Zeb Kopczynski was there before the back was there for the handoff. Excellent job. That's what happens when you get deep penetration. Plus yardage now becomes minus yardage. It puts you in a bigger hole here. 2nd down, about 13.
Second and long for the Millionaires. Berkheimer to pass, dumps it off to Martin. And Martin is going to be brought down after a short gain. Read well by the Cougar defense, led by Jesus Castillo, came up with the tackle.
Castillo did an excellent job reading that screen pass. Makes it a 3rd down. Here you see it. Not a big rush. There's 3 men upfield, maybe 4, so there are 6 or 7 in back. There you saw Castillo get up the field.
Call it 3rd and about 9 for the Millionaires. Play action, Berkheimer rolling right. Dumps it off to Hoffman. Hoffman pulling his way across the 40. And I believe he has enough for a Harry's You Pull It Millionaire first down.
Yeah, it all depends on the spot, but it looks like he has a good spot. Move the chains. Good play. Nice throw by Berkheimer. Good catch. Pick up the first. But you don't want to be in that situation every time, 3rd and long, and have to convert.
Mentioned a little bit at halftime. Coming up next week, the high school football game of the week number 5 already. We'll be right back here at Harmon Guy Stadium as the Cougars will play host to Pittston area. We'll be on the air at 6:30 with the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show and kickoff a little after 7. Patriots Cougars next Friday night right here on WYLN as Martin takes the first down carry for about 6 yards to the Millionaire 49.
Martin did a good job. Their offensive line for the Millionaires coming to life. They opened up a little bit of a gap. 2nd and about 5. Clock winding down. At some point, not right now, Marty, that will become a concern. Obviously, the concern right now is getting that ball in the end zone for the Millionaires. Try to tighten the score.
Toss to Martin, reading it in the backfield and blowing it up is Zach Zukowski, bringing him down for a loss.
I'll tell you what happened. They tried to run the toss. The wide receiver was supposed to block Zukowski. Zukowski was up the field right now. Brought the ball carrier down for a loss.
Under 5 minutes remaining on the Berger Family Dealership third quarter scoreboard. Hazleton area in front 30-7. On 3rd down, Berkheimer to pass. Under pressure, and he's going to be sacked.
Thought he would look to the flat, but then looked downfield, which took a little more time trying to read that secondary finder receiver. So Berkheimer's sacked.
And credit the first sack. We'll see it here, number 72, Zeb Kopczynski.
Kopczynski does a great job of shedding the blocker and getting upfield.
Tyler Gardner to punt it away to Zukowski, and Oaks back deep for the Cougars. Flag is down. Gardner's punt goes straight up, and it's going to take a Cougar roll and be down by Gardner at the 43 of Hazleton area.
I think that's a motion type penalty. I would refuse it, take the ball.
And I'm looking at Coach Drumheller. He's saying the same thing, no hesitation. He wants the ball at his 43.
Penalty declined.
And get this Cougar offense back on the field. Because of the turnover and the quick score to Hazleton area offense, hasn't had it much in this second half, but they've built the lead back to 23. As you get a look at the student section here at Hazleton Area High School. And Joe, there are some cheering in your town of Berwick. The Dogs back in front 28-21.
Yeah, and as I said, when we looked at the matchup in that game, we knew it was going to be, people that follow football knew it was going to be back and forth. So both teams playing well.
Hazleton area timeout. They lead it 30-7.
Now, Hazel Park Spring Water is proud to announce that they are the official water of the WYLN Sports Crew and available for home delivery through JW Wargo Spring Water Delivery and JoJo's Beverage. Since 1915, the Kreisel family has been serving the area with quality meats. The tradition continues today with 5 generations at Hazel Park Quality Meats, 260 Washington Avenue, West Hazleton, and Redding Specialty Meats, located at 216 East 4th Street in Berwick. Here are some of this week's specials.
Space Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
After the Cougar timeout on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard, they lead at 30-7 with a 1st and 10 from their own 43. Zach Zukowski brought down by Hoffman for a loss of 1. And Joe, from that Williamsport defense, Justin Hoffman, typical one of those linebackers you always see, Joe, plays fullback on offense, linebacker on defense, has his nose in everything, and he's played very well tonight.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with him. He's come to play, made some big tackles, has penetrated that offensive front when that's been a possibility. So Justin Hoffman obviously doing a nice job for the Millionaire defense.
Next week, we'll be right back here at Harmon Guy Stadium as the Pittston area Patriots will come in to challenge the Cougars. Be on the air at 6:30 with the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show. And we'll be talking a lot about Zach Zukowski, I have a feeling, as he gets a big run all the way down to the Williamsport 24-yard line, and a Harry's you pull it. 1st down, and that'll put Zukowski over 100 yards for the night.
Left side for Zukowski. Nice blocking again. If it wasn't for Bryce Harris holding on, Zukowski might have taken it to the end zone.
22 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown for Zach Zukowski. George will get the carry this time. Close football. And I guess they'll say he was down as the whistles blow.
Yeah, I saw the ball come out though, Marty.
Give him a gain of 4 on the play.
You see it. They called the ball down, knee on the ground.
2nd and 6 for the Cougars. Ball marked at the Millionaire 20. Zukowski tripped up from behind, making the tackle for Williamsport on a nice play. Gene Blackwell, a 5'11 sophomore on that defensive line.
Blackwell did a nice job coming from the back side to make that tackle. Clock winding down, 1:50, 3rd quarter. Good lead for the Cougars.
Heller, quick drop, looking to swing it out to Oakes. Overthrew him, incomplete. There was tight coverage there by Dante Johnson.
Yeah, they had Oakes on a stop, trying to get to the sideline. Heller had it a little high.
We're going to see the range of Tristan Williams as they're going to come out and attempt a 37-yard field goal. Jeff Oakes will hold. Hold is down. Kick is blocked. Oakes tried to get on it. Williamsport will recover. Blackwell came through on the block for Williamsport, and the Millionaires will take over at their 44-yard line as Blackwell will block the 37-yard attempt.
I'll tell you what, Blackwell took the inside gap, perfect right at the football. Williamsport with a big break there. They need to make some points off this blocked field goal.
Play action. Berkheimer throws complete out to midfield. Nicholas Manzini on the reception.
Nice throw, nice catch by Mancini right there. Wanted to turn it up the field. You have to make sure that ball's put away before you turn upfield. Mancini with a nice catch, picks up about 8 yards, 7 yards on the play.
gets the high snap, throws to his left, tipped up and incomplete. He was looking for Jed Chestnut, and it fell incomplete.
Chestnut, a pretty good size receiver, 6'3", about 190. He's only a junior. Looked like he had a chance. Bobbled it just momentarily. Incomplete.
I want to remind you, coming up at the end of tonight's game, Joe and I will select a Fairway Subaru player of the game. 2 receivers set to the top of your screen for Williamsport. Berkheimer is going to hand it off to Faust. Faust has a first down and more. Faust spun down inside the 35 to the 33. I believe they're going to say he's down. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, looked like there was a little tussle for the ball. He took did a decent job coming out on that fake. Then Faust took it up the field for the first down. And I think at the end there was a little tussle for that ball. I thought it might be a fumble, but Williamsport with a big play there to pick up good yardage into Cougar territory.
Last minute of play in the third quarter after the Harries Pullick first down. Tackle for a loss for Hazleton area by A.J. Gasser.
We've seen several times tonight where a defensive lineman has been up the field 3 or 4 yards, and Gasser right there, here you see it, Gasser just running through the block.
Second and 14. Gerard Reeves, the left-hander, will step out of bounds inside the 30. He'll bring up 3rd and short for the Millionaires with 12.9 seconds left.
Reeves is only a sophomore. Looks like he gives the Millionaires a little running back at that quarterback position as he took the snap, went to the right, and I think we have an injury here.
A little bit warmer day. I wonder if maybe we have a cramping situation as they asked for the water bottle right away.
Yeah, it might be, Marty. I mean, we're still in that kind of weather.
It was Zach Zukowski who's limping off, and just the way that limp is, and I'm no doctor, but that almost looks like a limp of somebody that's suffering from cramps. And it's understandable. He's worked hard tonight on both ends of the field.
As we said, right now, let's see who comes back at quarterback for Williamsport, because I think each player gives you something different.
It'll be Berkheimer that'll go under center on 3rd and 3. Faust will get the carry. Faust is very close to another Millionaire first down.
I think they're going to have to take a look at that.
As you mentioned, Joe Jozwiak wants an official timeout to bring the chains in. Ball marked inside the 25. Very close to that first down. Get a look at that replay by Service Electric Wilkes-Barre.
Downhill. Faust does an excellent job. Almost made the first. He's just short. We're going to look at a 4th and less than a yard.
Unless they really hurry to the line with only 3.4 seconds left, they may have to run that 4th down play on the other end of the field.
I'll tell you what, Marty, big play. I wouldn't be in any hurry to try to get it in under the clock.
4th and inches coming up for the Millionaires. They're going to run the clock, and the clock is going to run out. We are through 3 quarters from Harmon Guy Stadium. The score, Hazleton area 30, Williamsport 7, 4th quarter up next.
We're looking for a dealer that will take the time to get to know our needs.
And hook me up with something that has some all-wheel drive and some power. Blam!
And what will you be using the car for primarily?
Cycling, snowboarding, kayaking, you know.
Gardening, antiquing, and commuting to work.
I've got just the car.
Lease a 2014 Subaru Forester 2.5i CVT for $199 a month.
The right car.
The right price.
The right dealer. Fairway Subaru. Yeah.
Schumacher Engineering Incorporated, providing diversified consulting engineering services throughout the Northeast for over 30 years. Call 455-9407 for Schumacher Engineering Incorporated.
We welcome you back to Harmon Guy Stadium on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. Start of the 4th quarter. Hazleton area in front 30-7. And the Millionaires will have a 4th and inches coming up just inside the Cougar 25. The Chains have come down with the football from the other end of the field as they'll get the correct spot. Joe Yozviak and his crew. Now the chain gang will head over to the far sideline and get set for this opening play of the 4th quarter. But the story of the game has been the Hazleton area ground game. And efficient quarterback play from second-time starter Ryan Heller, replacing Julius Ward. 4th and inches for the Millionaires. Berkheimer under center. He'll just keep it himself. And he'll use that 6'1" frame to get to the 23 and a Harry Ju pull it. Millionaire first down.
Yeah, didn't need much, Marty. Just a little push from that offensive line.
They go hurry up, no huddle. Berkheimer again under center. Gives off to Faust. Faust trying to get to the corner. Faust brought down inside the 20 near the 16. Flag at the far side of the field in front of the Williamsport sideline. Six men on the line, and illegal procedure will make it a 1st and 15 for the Millionaires.
Not the kind of penalty you need, especially when you're moving the ball down the field. And to be very honest, look at 3rd quarter stats, Marty.
Millionaires 43 rush yards to 41 for Hazleton area, 21 pass yards for the Millionaires, 64 total yards to 41 for Hazleton area. Millionaires have run 19 plays to 7 for Hazleton area. Time of possession flips in that 3rd quarter with Millionaires possessing it for 850 to only 310 for Hazleton area. But Hazleton area outscored them 7-0. The big play, the 46-yard interception return by Nick George as Berkheimer looks to run with it. Berkheimer leaps, and he'll be out of bounds near the 20.
Berkheimer is able to get some of the yardage back after that penalty.
So the ball will be marked at the 21 for a 2nd and 8 after the gain of 7. Faust gets tripped up, brought down by Benet.
I'll tell you what, Benet had an ankle tackle because I didn't see anyone beyond. Right here, watch this. There's no one outside. Benet with a great tackle at the line of scrimmage.
And another Cougar down, holding his leg and almost in the style of a cramp. Didn't catch the number of the Cougar player, but they're stretching him out and bringing him over some fluids. it might be A.J. Gasser.
He's up very quickly.
So a 3rd down and 8 for the Millionaires when play is reset. Ball marked at the Cougar 21. Berkheimer will go under center. Play action, he looks to roll right, he's under pressure. He's going to have to run with it. And Oliver is going to bring him down for a sack.
Tell you what, you have to give, and right here. Beltrami forced Berkheimer to pull up. Then Oliver came in and made the tackle. So we're looking at a 4th down again as a timeout. Coach Choate wants to look at this.
His team trails it 30-7. We'll keep it right here. While we have a moment, we want to thank the Third Base Luncheonette, located at the rear of 704 Carson Street here in Hazleton, for supplying our crew meal as they have for so many seasons here on WILN. Third Base Luncheonette located next to the old Hazleton High School, affectionately known as the Castle. And for the greatest testimonial on television, ladies and gentlemen, I present Joe DeMelfi.
They've been providing us with food since I've been doing the telecast. Nobody beats a third base hoagie.
And that is why it's the greatest testimonial on television today. We also want to remind you that high school football on WILN is brought to you by Northeast Gold and Silver Exchange inside the Churchill Mall. They're paying the highest prices for gold and silver, unwanted, broken, or new. Call them, and we have to mention now, 570-497-4177, Northeast Gold and Silver Exchange inside the Churchill Mall. Reeves back in at quarterback out of the gun on 4th and long. The left-hander looks, throws to the end zone, batted down by Oaks. Cougars hold on down.
I'll tell you what, Oaks did it. They were in the zone. Oaks did a nice job getting to the ball, knocking it down. Wasn't a bad pass by Reeves. Here you see it. He takes a step, good blocking. Oaks does an excellent job running to the ball from the secondary. That one hurt for the Millionaires because now with 10-14 left, Hazleton area can go to that ground game, use some clock.
And a big score in Berwick. The Dogs make it a 2-score game, leading now 35-21 over Wyoming Valley West.
You know, Marty, not to take away from this game is a flag, I believe, by the umpire, which indicates hold most of the time. But we saw Scranton, and I thought they were a pretty decent football team. Wyoming Valley West beat them by 2 touchdowns. And I thought Berwick, Wyoming Valley West have not seen the Bulldogs. Obviously, living in Berwick, you hear a lot of things and know they're playing well. So for them to be playing well against the Wyoming Valley West team, who a lot of people thought was strong, indicates Bulldogs could be on a roll.
Second and long, this is E.J. McCallum, who's going to be brought down for a loss by Faust. And I believe, Joe, not only Wyoming Valley West tonight, but another big game next Friday at Crispin Field as the Seals of Selinsgrove will come in to challenge the Bulldogs.
Yes, they have 2 in a row here that are definitely games they're going to be taxed. They're up in this game tonight, and then they have the Seals, who've played Berwick well over the last several years.
We'll get to see the Bulldogs at the end of the season, week number 10. They'll be right here at Harmon Geist Stadium to take on the Cougars. Toss to Zukowski. He's forced out of bounds near the 25-yard line. Bring up 4th down, and the Cougars will be forced to punt it away.
Out of bounds by foul.
Used a minute or 2 off the clock. Would have liked to have more. I'm sure Coach Drumheller not crazy about having to punt it away, but they're looking at a 4th and 7.
Romello Martin back deep for the Millionaires. Tristan Williams will punt it away. Gets off a end-over-end kick, picked up by Martin after he dropped it, and a host of Cougar defenders bring him down at the 45.
I'll tell you what, Marty, I like the enthusiasm of those special teams. Brian Menzola, a sophomore, has a chance to make a play, and he does that. Williamsport, now we have on Williamsport sideline, the clock's moving very fast, and the Hazleton sideline, clock's moving very slow. Nature of the ball game, down by 23, Millionaires have to make something happen. Reeves at the quarterback spot.
Reeves will go up the middle, met by a host of Cougar defenders led by Chris DeSpirito. He'll get maybe a yard.
Penetration by Beltrami right away. Reeves never had the mesh. Didn't do a great job with it. Hazleton area defensively found the ball very quickly. 2nd and maybe 9.5.
And you mentioned the clock and how the clock may be going slow. That's I know he's paranoid, but we're not talking anything about how Chubby runs the clock down there, are we?
No, I would not do that.
Oh, okay.
Chubby has made mistakes in his lifetime. There's no doubt about it.
He has been called slow at times, too, I have heard.
He just did a good job on a timeout.
We'll keep it here as Chubby stops the clock at 7:46 with Hazleton area in front 30-7. And I'll tell you what, there have been times Hazleton area's given up some big plays defensively early on in this season. This has got to be a big confidence booster for this group. 7 points on the board, and that was given up on special teams. This defense has played very well tonight for Hazleton area. A couple of trips inside their own zone. They forced a couple of 4th down stops and also got a big turnover near the end of that opening half. And that could be a big play in this game, the forced fumble by Castillo, where Williamsport had a chance to try to make this, say, a 23-14, or if they went for 2-15 game going into the locker room. Instead, it was 23-7.
Yeah, Gardner had that ball. It was a good play call by Williamsport. Castillo came from behind and just punched that ball out. Very good tackle.
High snap for Reeves. He corrals, and he is going to be brought down by Benet all the way back to the 36.
One of the problems with that shotgun is getting the snap there. You need to have it right at waist high so the quarterback or the person engineering the offense has a chance to make a play.
Reeves again out of the gun with 7 minutes left in the 4th. Another high snap. Being pressured by Long Gazelle. Flag is down. They may get a hold against Williamsport. That pass almost intercepted by Zukowski.
Yeah, we're going to have a hold. I think
offense.
You take him back here, and here you see the hold right here. Pretty plain, and referee right there.
Penalty, declined, 4th down.
Joey Oswiak says 4th down from the 36. 4th down and 19, and the Millionaires will set up in punting formation. Gardner back deep to punt it. Gets it off, nice kick, and it'll go over Zukowski's head.
And you know what? We talk about that all the time. You could see Zukowski right away put his hands on his helmet. Knew he should have fielded that ball. Lost another 15 yards because he didn't.
But almost to that point, sometimes you give up the yardage because he did seem a little indecisive. So, you don't want him to fumble the football away. At that point, we'll take the loss of yardage and go from there.
There's no doubt, Marty, that if you don't feel comfortable, but you should be in a position back there. Now, when he kicked it, he might have thought to him, and I'm guessing at this, I'm going to let this thing go. There's no sense on me trying to make the catch and then having Williamsport recover.
So movement up front stops the play. You'll see if Williamsport was drawn off.
Dead ball, defense, encroachment.
So the Cougars will have a 1st and 5 from the 15.
Hazleton area looking forward to the first win of the season. Pittston on the horizon.
We'll have that game next Friday night right here on WYLN, starting with the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show at 6:30. Kickoff after 7. The 1st and 5 carry by Zukowski. Get him about 4 to the 19.
Now's the time to start looking, and this is what spread teams have a problem with. In fact, previously the Eagles tied the game against and then lost to the Chargers with the field goal. They left a minute 57 on. Now, at that level, it's but you have to be able to bleed the clock a little bit, I think, during games at some point, especially if you're ahead.
And especially when a guy like Phillip Rivers has gouged you all afternoon.
Well, yeah, that's it. And I mean, those guys obviously are the best in the business, and they can do it. But I've seen it in the college level as well as high school. You leave too much time on the clock. And the philosophy of those offenses is I can score more than you. Well, if there's no time on the clock, you don't have to worry about scoring anymore.
Nick George picked up a Harry Zhu pull at 1st down to the 22. Clock continuing to run, under 5.5 minutes remaining in the 4th on the Berger Family Dealership scoreboard. Hazleton area leading 30-7.
The 4th quarter going 22. Robbing Valley West 21.
Play clock ran down, and maybe the first mistake tonight for Ryan Heller, not getting the team to the line of scrimmage in enough time.
Well, I don't even know if it was his fault. The substitution came in real late. I don't think there was a lot of time on the clock to begin with. And you're right, Marty, they took their time coming out, which they should. But Heller, being not as experienced, maybe didn't look at the clock, 25-second clock.
But I'll tell you what, Joe, this young man, not knowing what's going to happen next week, if he would get the start or not, if Warder's healthy. But Ryan Heller has done a great job tonight. We talked about managing the game, and when he had to make plays, he made plays. A couple of big 4th down plays. One he got with his legs, a 14-yard run on a 4th and 5 that kept a scoring drive going. And then on a big 4th and 14 with a minute 50 left in the half, found Oakes from 25 yards out for the touchdown. And Heller's done a lot of nice things in it. At times tonight with this running game, we didn't notice Heller, so he's taking care of the football, getting the ball to the desired back.
I'll tell you what, Marty, and Ryan Heller's come in. He's going to lead Hazleton to victory number 1, 5:13 left. I mean, it's competition. Whoever the quarterback is next week has to do best during the week, and that's the kind of atmosphere that needs to be fostered. If there's no competition, there's no chance for people to win positions.
A flag down behind the play as some extracurricular activity went on. Zukowski all the way into Williamsport territory at the 44. We had some action behind the play, and I think we might have a personal foul against the Millionaires.
I think a little bit of frustration probably coming out.
Will be tacked on to the end of the run.
Yeah, I think what happened was they were in a little bit of a spat there, and it continued well after the running back broke the line of scrimmage, and it's called on Williamsport.
So after Zukowski's run and the personal foul, good for a Harry's You Pull It first down. Zukowski, mentioned the workhorse tonight, 27 carries, 174 yards, and the opening touchdown of the game, which Hazleton area has not looked back, leading now 30-7. So we approach 5 minutes left in the fourth.
I'll tell you what, Marty, he's played a very good game. When we look at our player of the game, obviously it's going to be a hard choice. Several players have made big plays.
Heller will give to George. George will be brought down for no gain. I wonder, was that Hoffman again? That was Hoffman.
He's played an exceptional game defensively for Williamsport.
As we've mentioned, these Cougars coming off what we're believing to be a victory tonight will host Pittston area next Friday night. We'll begin live at 6:30 with the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show kickoff after 7. The Patriots of Pittston area, the Cougars of Hazleton area, week number 5 high school football game of the week, right here on WYLN. Zukowski back in, he'll get the carry. Number 28 on the night will get him about 2 yards.
Be a tired young man before the ball game's over, or after the ball game. You have to congratulate the offensive line for Hazleton area. I thought they did an excellent job. We've talked about them several times.
And if you were here for the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show, when we interviewed Coach Drumheller, he said the keys to the game is we put it on this offensive line. Told them this game is theirs, and they've come to play as this rushing attack has come up big for Hazleton area as George found a hole up the middle to the 24. 4th down and about 5 coming up for the Cougars.
Yeah, 4th and 5, ball deep in Williamsport territory. Clock running down. We're going to be at 3 minutes very shortly. Hazleton area obviously is going to... They're sending Kopczynski back in the ball game. He just came out, which leads me to believe Heller's going to look at throwing the ball.
Zukowski will get it. He bounces outside, has a first down and more before he is hit down at about the 11, making the big hit, Bryce Harris.
I tell you, Bryce Harris has made some tackles for Williamsport down the field tonight. They ran an I formation, tried to kick out the end. Here you see Bryce Harris.
Once again, another 4th down conversion by the Cougars. Cougars now in the Grand Central red zone. 1st and 10, just shy of the 10. As George gets the first down carry, he'll take it just shy of the 5. And a late flag is down again. His tempers are really flaring out there. And another flag, I believe, has been thrown.
One was thrown by the referee. It's going to be against Williamsport, and it looks like maybe offsetting.
Personal foul, defense. Personal foul, offense.
So offsetting penalties. The Millionaires will be marched half the distance to the goal, and then they'll take the 15 yards back on Hazleton area. So they'll be marched back to the 18. Remain first down. First and about 17 for the Cougars. Zukoski again to the outside. Zukoski to the end zone. Touchdown Cougars. A flag is down.
You got to hold on the corner, Marty. Touchdown coming back. You see it right here, Marty. Right hand outside.
So that'll bring the ball back to the 27. First down and 26.
Hazleton's student section appreciates the first victory for the Cougars of the year.
Helping your dollars go further every day. Stay here for fantastic bargains. This is Penny's Classifieds from WYLN TV 35.
.42 miles per gallon, has a 20-star safety rating, and a luxury great interior that's simply not available on any.
Welcome to Wellness Through Physical Therapy. I'm your host, Liz Toll, and I'm here with Ting O. Hello, Ting. How are you today?
Breakfast and lunch. Our breakfast menu includes eggs,
Haller checks the play clock to his right. He'll take a knee at 1. Clock approaching a minute remaining. Third down coming up.
Stop into Fame RV Center for an RV to fit your family budget and lifestyle. Fame, or maybe you love to go.
He'll go down, be very close, probably just one more kneel down for Heller. Heller again heads up, checks that play clock off to his right. Takes the knee. And depending when they put the ball back in play, that
usually the referee will wait till the 25-second mark.
And Hazleton area will celebrate their first victory of the season. They'll improve to 1-3. We'll have them back here against Pittston area next Friday night. The Millionaires continue the second of a 3-game road trip. They'll head to Dallas next Saturday. And at the head of the line, Zach Zukoski, our Fairway Subaru player of the game. Joe, his stats a workhorse tonight. 30 carries, 191 yards, and a touchdown. 2 receptions for 28 yards. Zach Zukoski, our Fairway Subaru player of the game.
Played well on defense too, Marty. Big win for the Cougars.
They said they were going to put it on the offensive line in the running game. A lot of it there by Zach Zukoski, the player of the game. Hazleton area goes to 1-3 with a 30-7 victory over the Millionaires of Williamsport. As the strong rushing attack, very well-played game at the quarterback position by Ryan Heller. And Hazleton area wins it 30-7 over the Millionaires of Williamsport. Got to look at that score by quarter, in which was a non-scoring fourth. Hazleton area got their lone score in the third, set up by a Nick George interception return. 2 plays and 4 yards out. And they added 7 on to their 23-7 halftime lead and win it tonight by the score of 30-7. Now time for the post-game recap, brought to you by Service Electric. An opening drive that went 9 plays, 56 yards. Zach Zukowski carried it 6 times, 43 yards, including this 4th down run from 8 yards out. Cougars led it 7-0. They would later add a Tristan Williams field goal to lead 10-0. And Ryan Heller, who did a great job tonight at quarterback on 4th and 5, runs for 14 yards and a Cougar first down. That set up Nick George's first touchdown run of the night. From 1 yard out, the Cougars led it 17-0, capping a 15-play, 80-yard drive that took 6:04 off the clock. That was a long drive. The Millionaires answered very quickly. Bryce Harris, an 88-yard kickoff return, got a couple of key blocks, had a caravan taking him to the end zone, and it was 17-7 Cougars. But Hazleton area would answer, go 10 plays, 63 yards. This 4th and 14 play, Heller to Oakes from 25 yards out. His speed took him to the corner. It was 23-7 Cougars at that point. Williamsport tried to get something to go before halftime. Berkheimer found Garner, but Jesus Castillo forces the fumble. Joey Basic jumps in the pile to recover the fumble, and at the half, the Cougars led it 23-7. Another turnover by the Cougar defense, this time great anticipation by senior Nick George. He'll intercept it and go 46 yards, down to the Millionaire 4. 2 plays later, George will get his second touchdown of the night to make it 30-7 Cougars. Tristan Williams would try a field goal. It would be blocked by Blackwell, and the Millionaires would take over at their own 44. But they would not be able to score as the Hazleton area defense played very well tonight as Hazleton area wins it 30-7 over Williamsport. That was the Service Electric Wilkes-Barre post-game recap. Coach DeMelfi, your final thoughts?
I thought it was a complete victory. Played well. Hazleton area, both sides of the ball. Offensive line did well. Heller did an excellent job, and of course Zukowski, George. It was an all-around victory and something to build on, looking forward to next week against the Patriots.
Coach Drumheller put it on his offensive line. They had 248 yards rushing, 101 through the air, 349 yards of total offense as the Cougars will now get ready for a home contest right back here next Friday night against Pittston area. We'll be here with them. Join us next Friday night at 6:30 for the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show. Kickoff a little after 7. We are going to say goodnight for our director, Barry J.S., for stats by Jim Burns, for Joe DeMelfi, I'm Marty Burns, saying so long. Once again, the final score, Hazleton area 30, Williamsport 7. Join us next Friday night live at 6:30 with the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance pregame show. Kickoff after 7, as it'll be the Patriots of Pittston area taking on the Cougars of Hazleton area right here next Friday night on WYLN. This has been a WYLN Sports Special presentation. Good night from Hazleton.